Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We got to talk about BB23 because I'm back, y'all.
Look who's back, you guys. But first, if you're new to this channel, then you don't know that David's been gone. But please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up because you're going to like that David's back. Just trust me.
I think you're going to like me, I hope. And if you want to support us on Patreon, there's a link in the description. There's a link on the screen. We've got a great Discord community that you could be a part of. So support us on Patreon.
Support us. David, welcome back. You were missed. How was your trip? Give us a lowdown.
It was great. I was all over the place. I went to Nebraska and Colorado and Minnesota and Wisconsin and New York and blah, 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 blah. I just went everywhere and had the best time. But, you know, vacation is exhausting in its own way, I will say. So I'm glad to be back. I had the weekend at home to kind of restore a little bit. And I'm just thrilled to be back with and see your face again. We had to run down how we do a video again before we went live. Sarah was like, step one, David. I was like, right, okay.
Yeah. I just imagined we were going to go live and you were like, wait, what?
What? Where am I?
I was going to be like, wait, what? And then, yeah. So we did a little rough walkthrough. But David, a lot has happened on Big Brother, and you came back just in time to watch one of our faves probably walk out the door this week.
I know.
Sad. But let's get into this episode.
Yes.
So the way we do Monday videos is we talk about Sunday night's episode, and then we will get into the spoilers. So no spoilers until then. Then we'll talk about the veto. We'll talk about the live feeds and fill in some stuff that the edit hasn't shown us. How about that?
Yes, that sounds good. So we are coming off of Sarah Beth winning HOH at the end of the previous episode. She is the first female HOH of this season. The females we talked about in one of our recent, I think the last video that I did with you, we kind of talked about the ladies need to start winning some things. They have not won veto or HOH yet. And so then after that, we saw Brittany win a veto, or was it Brittany? Yeah, she won the head smacking veto thing when she totally beasted that. And then now we finally have a female winning HOH, which is fantastic. Sarah Beth gets some fresh blood up in here. Maybe something different.
Hold up. No. But yes. For a minute, David, on Thursday night, I was like, oh, what's about to happen?
Yeah.
And then Friday I was like, no, it didn't go any different at all. So yeah, Sarah Beth won HOH here, and we do see Kyland start his initial pitch with her being like, I mean, I don't like Derek X and Claire. I feel like that would be the nominees, right? But I mean, you're HOH, but
I
that's
support you.
Thinking.
Right. I support you. But, there are people who are nervous in the house, just Sarah Beth being in control. We see Derek F is nervous. We see Hannah is nervous. Of course, Hannah's nervous because Sarah Beth has been coming after her for a while. It's kind of behind the scenes, kind of not. And, Derek F is mostly just I don't want to be a pawn again. I think he kind of knows that he's not going to be the target necessarily, but he's like, I'm over being on the block. I don't want to do this again. But people are just kind of not sure where Sarah Beth's head is at,
I like that Tiffany and Azza are mutually they're having a good time together. They're getting along in this moment because they mutually don't like Sarah Beth. They want her gone, and they're mutually both mad at Kyland. So we take those little moments that we can get for Tiffany and Azza to actually get along.
I know, seeing them see eye to eye is nice because they don't always do that.
Kyland, make sure you just trust him, guys. Just trust him. Okay.
Yeah.
Just trust him. Kyland's on the scene, y'all. He'll take care of this HOH.
Well, and that's the whole point, right? In terms of that's why the members of the cookout have their people, so that when those people get into the power, the cookout is still kind of playing puppet master as this alliance. And so it is really up to Kyland to pull through for his team here. He is close to Sarah Beth so that the rest of them don't have to be, right? So,
and they're not. They're really not. We hear Derek X. He's one that's like, I don't know. I don't feel super, super safe with Sarah Beth. He was
he put her
so
up.
close to winning. Oh my gosh. If he had not tried the skinny beam, he would have won.
Can you imagine?
He
Sarah?
would be HOH right now.
He would be. But he risked it.
But he's not.
And
He is not.
Yeah.
Big D and Tiffany. Ooh, boy, howdy. Here we go. They're going to do
good.
They're going to do a little rehash of the rolling up on me. You rolled up on me.
Yeah. Derek F walked in like, let's just smooth things over. And Tiffany's like, oh, you want to smooth it over, huh? You want to just smooth it over. Okay. She's not ready to smooth it over. She's ready to let him have it. You know, yeah. She's like you said, you rolled up on me. Why are you rolling up on me? The number of times I was like, drink every time they say
every
rolled
time
up
she's
on
rolled
me,
up. Yeah.
And you will die of alcohol poisoning.
Yes. Yeah, it escalates. And I mean, they didn't even show us the half of it. It got so loud that the other house guests were listening and they were saying things like the six. They were saying things so loudly that could get them in trouble that Hannah ran up to the pantry door and just hit the button to make everyone like freak and run away. Just because it was like, oh my gosh, simmer down.
Yeah, you're blowing it up.
It got loud. Yeah. I really hate this edit for Tiffany.
Yeah, it's not
great. It's not a good look. And, you know, it's been a while since we've had her doing some game talks. And now we're just getting her mad at people.
Yeah. And it's just
like to see it.
It's not a great moment for her in terms of like keeping your composure, eyes on like the strategy of how these conversations can change people's perception of you, right? Because like this is her. I mean, Derek F was already having an issue of her like calling the shots, throwing her weight around, acting like the leader of the cookout. And this is just kind of her doubling down on that here. Like, why are you trying to boss me around? I'm the boss of the cookout. Like that's how this is coming off. And her reacting this way is only going to make him want to target her more because eventually the cookout's going to turn on each other. So this is just not good for her, you know?
It's not, but outside of the game, this edit is right. Well, this edit wasn't, but the one that we got on Thursday was right before America voted, and we're about to see how much money she got. She took a shot. She went down, and it's these edits that aren't appealing.
That's right.
Unfortunately, so yeah I don't know. There are definitely people in the cookout who want her to go early, and there are definitely people in the cookout who I'm not sure which way they're going to vote if she does make it to the end. And then, unfortunately, she's losing America's votes with this stuff.
Which is too bad because she is like doing such a good job. She's like manipulating the people. Yes, she is like playing the game so well, but you're just like not winning any fans, really inside or outside of the game right now with edits like these. You're totally right. Yeah. But I did enjoy this conversation that we get next with Derek X, Claire, and Tiffany again. Okay. They're in the bathroom talking about, you know, Derek X sort of wondering aloud, like, who Azah might be aligned with. Like, it is kind of crazy that still nobody seems to have picked up on the cookout at this point. Like, you don't see that.
It's like they have, but like they haven't.
Yeah, because in this conversation, you know, Claire says like, oh, I'm targeting Xavier. And then Tiffany kind of leaves. And finally, Derek X and Claire are like, you know, she seemed to get a little nervous when we said that Xavier might be a target here. And this is the point where we kind of see, I don't know if this is just the edit. You tell me, Sarah, but they show us in the edit, Derek X and Claire basically picking out every member of the cookout here. Like, maybe these people are all working together.
And this isn't the first time they've done this. Was it a week ago or 2 weeks now? I've lost track of time, but the two of them, Derek X and Claire, have named all of the cookout in this sort of like, I feel like these people might be working together. But then they just don't go with it. They then still turn to their allies, Tiffany, Hannah, and they talk about stuff. And then like they just don't take that next step, which I understand. Even if you think you see it and you're like, what if?
Right.
You have been so close to Tiffany and Hannah. They have been your best allies. You've talked game with them up, down, and all around.
Yeah.
Do you really stop and go, whoa, they're working with other people?
They're like double crossing us. Like, you know, like it really is the beauty of the Cookout's plan here for, you know, Tiffany to be so close to Derek X and Claire and to be talking so much game with them, for Hannah to be talking so much game with Derek X, for Kyland and Sarah Beth's duo to be so obvious, for Xavier and Alyssa to be working so closely together. It really takes the focus off of this 6 that they can see, but you're right, they just can't really like put it all together because
that would mean that Tiffany's lying to them. Yeah,
that's right.
We had a little conversation before, but we'll just jump here because we have Kyland and Sarah Beth who talk a little bit before this, but then they talk afterwards, where it's hard to tell in this edit what really went down. I talked about it on Friday, but Sarah Beth started doing her own HOH. She started with, I feel good about Tiffany and Claire. We know that they are in an alliance called the Jackpots. No one else knows that. The Jackpots don't even remember that they're in it. But in this moment, Sarah Beth remembers it. So great. She's aligned with them, feels good about them. She's not really trusting Alyssa. And she says DX, but she also says X. She also says Big D. Like these are the names she's tossing around. And Kyland's like, gotta get to work. We don't see the 4 hours of him not making a ton of logical decisions. And David, I wish you were here so that I could make you really uncomfortable. But this is how he manipulates you.
Physical touch. Is that his manipulation language? Physical touch?
Like, I just don't trust Claire. Don't trust Claire. I don't know. Derek X wanted to flip the vote last week. Foot massage. I just like, I don't know I feel like Alyssa's not lying to you. Foot massage. That's what we missed in the edit, and probably thank you for that.
Yeah.
For not putting that in the edit. But 4 hours of that, Sarah Beth's like, what if I put Claire up?
I was just about to say, whatever it was, it worked. Whatever that strategy was, Kyland did it. Because it really is hard. At this point, it's hard to stay away from the Cookout when you're talking about targets, right? Because there's only like 4 people left who aren't in the Cookout. Maybe 3, right? Isn't it just, Sarah Beth's the HOH. So she's not on the table. So it's Claire, Alyssa, and Derek X who are not in the Cookout. So when you're considering targets, it's hard to not bring up somebody who's in the Cookout. But Kyland goes to work. And he ends up getting her to repeat his noms from the week before.
Yeah.
How about that?
Can you really step back and go, this is my own HOH. Look at my noms are exactly the same.
Wow. What? We are just back to where we were a week ago. Okay.
What? Okay. Yeah. So here we are. Big D and Claire, their pictures are on the memory wall or the nom thing. Yeah. They even make a joke. We're back, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said it, Sarah Beth. They said it. Did you see it? Yeah. Did you see it?
Yeah,
no?
We're back. Okay. I mean, I think Derek F., I'm sure he's annoyed, like he said at the beginning of the episode, and he expressed throughout that he did not want to be a pawn again, but he's kind of lolling about it to a certain extent because I think he knows he's safe because the Cookout has the votes, right? So he's not too stressed. Claire is also kind of like, well, it's better to be on the block now than at the end of the week. Like, at least I'm not getting backdoored, you know? Like, they're kind of like, we're just still in the same position, so they don't seem there's not like crazy emotions in this moment, I guess.
There's not crazy emotions. I think you're exactly. They just did this last week, so that probably is part of it. But also, she did give them a heads up. Sarah Beth did let them know that they were going up. And some people were upset that Claire didn't fight. And I half agree. I wish Claire was like, oh, wait, okay, Sarah Beth, let's talk this through. We're jackpots. Don't risk this. La, la, la. I wish she had tried to hustle a little bit, but I don't fault someone for trying to keep the social game up, you know, and being like, oh, good, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's part of your social game. So
of course,
when people get mad that like, she said she's okay with it, I'm like, but you guys were mad at Brittany for being upset, but you're also mad that Claire is okay with it. Like you got to pick one of those, right? So I'm okay with part of that, but it's not good, Claire. It's not good.
It's not. I was also a little surprised in this moment with Hannah, right? Because we see this segment from Hannah where I think it's a diary room where she's like, I don't want Derek X is her guy, right? Like that's who she's close with for the cookout. I don't want him to play roulette because he'd get too much power. Like then he could be safe. He could, you know, pull somebody off the block, whatever. And but she's saying like, I am loyal to the cookout first. The loyalty to the cookout is really so strong. Like, I'm just surprised there's not more of like, of Hannah saying, you know, I understand that the cookout is my first priority here, but like, why does it have to be my person who's going home? You know, like, why can't it be Tiffany's person? Why can't we get Claire out? You know, like, there really is just this like allegiance
David,
no matter what.
Let me blow your mind with this one.
Please.
Last week, when Kyland was HOH and Hannah came in for one of her little meetings, she said, Derek X has to go next week. She is the one who got this ball rolling. All the Hannah stands, all the Derek X stands, she got this ball rolling. Then they got the high rollers room and realized he got $100. He told Hannah, because they're aligned, right? Hannah told all of the cookout. And so they had confirmation that he was going to have enough money for the coin. She signed his death certificate. She wrote it out. She formatted it. She Xeroxed it. Do people know what Xerox is? No. She laminated it. She mailed it out. She started it. So yeah, I bet she feels bad about it now. She doesn't like that she's in this moment. But that day that they did high rollers room, she lied to him and said, I will play. You don't have to. I will play to save Claire and you save your money for the coin. And that is part of the reason he did not play, you guys. And she turned to Tiffany because Tiffany was like, do I play if I can? She can't. She didn't have any money. And they said, no, we need Claire and Derek X to both be available to be on the block. We cannot have one of them down, both of them safe, any of those options. So that's the truth. That is the truth.
I'll say it's good for, provided it doesn't like bite Hannah in the butt later on by getting rid of a really strong ally. It is good for her resume to be able to say, like, you know, Derek X was a huge threat in this game. And like, what a social game to have someone like that wrapped around your finger so tightly. And then to be the one who was like, actually, I planted the seed that grew into your back door.
Yeah, you know? I hope that she can get to final two and spin it like that, because that would be amazing if she can spin it to her benefit. Yeah. What I worry about right now is that DX walks out and Tiffany and Hannah no longer have a strong competitive guy helping them as a shield and as, you know, he was always going to protect them and keep them safe every comp he won. So that's my fear. But if they can spin this in their favor down the road, then
good stuff.
Great.
Good stuff. But we are getting a little ahead of ourselves here because it's just Hannah saying, Derek X don't play roulette, right? Like this is this phase of the plan that we're in where she's like, I don't want him to play this competition. And so when we get to the high rollers room, it ends up being just Alyssa who plays the competition. Like, I don't know why we didn't see more people kind of go for it, because it was one where they don't reveal who all played. Like last week, it was public who played and who didn't. This one, like, you can kind of get away with telling people, oh, no, I didn't play, but then maybe, I don't know. Like, it just felt like there was more opportunity for like some sneakiness here. But Alyssa's the only person who plays, so of course she wins by default. But there was some work that went into getting Derek X not to play. And we saw a little bit on the episode where Kyland is kind of having this conversation with Derek X, where it's like, ooh, he's kind of talking him out of playing roulette.
Yeah, well, let's go down it individually here. So we see Claire go in first, and she gets $100. This is a huge jump. She got 50 last week. Yeah. She gets 100 this week. As a super fan, she should have said, red flag, I'm in trouble. I have not heard her do that yet. Did I miss it? Because I would like to see her do that.
Well, and question real quick. Sorry. For next week, for the coin, isn't it $250 to play? Yeah. So Claire needs another 100 next week if she has any hope. But although she only then would have 200. You're right. She played the whatever it was, the shuffleboard thing. Yeah.
So like she can't do anything with this money. She can't afford to play this week. But what she should do is say, "Oh, America thinks I need help. That's why America sends you $100, right?"
Right.
So she can't afford to play. Ozza gets $50. Just like she did last week, so she cannot afford to play. Hannah gets 75. Now, she could afford to play. She did promise Claire and Derek X that she would play, but she promised the cookout that she would lie about that, say she played, but not really play.
Okay, so there's some sneakiness going on there. I like that.
Yeah. Xavier gets $75. He could afford to play at this point, but he really wants the coin. He does not want to have to play this roulette, so he saves his money, doesn't play.
And he's going to need the 100 next week, right, in order to be able to play for the coin.
75, he has 150, so yeah, he would need 100, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I can't do math. Okay.
Yeah.
Sarah Beth gets $50, just like she got last week. She can't afford to play. Tiffany gets $50. That should also tell you, Tiffany, because you are a super fan, something went wrong.
Yeah. America's not liking you.
You went down. That's not good. Yeah. Alyssa got 75. She went up from her 50 last week. I hear Christian was doing some work out here in the real world for people to vote for her. So I think that worked. Yeah. So Sarah Beth had already asked her as HOH, if you can play, would you play for me and take down who I want you to take down? Alyssa said, sure.
Yeah.
So that is the only reason Alyssa is playing here. Kai gets $50. He can't afford to play. Big D comes in with 100. Now he wants to save it for the coin. So he's not going to play.
Right.
But he's also lied to some people, Sarah Beth being one of them, that he never got 100. Like he's never promised anyone that he got 100. So he's still playing along that he didn't have the money to play roulette.
Right.
And then, unfortunately, Derek X comes in, gets another 100, and has been lulled into feeling safe. He also, I think it's equally, he really wants that coin.
Yeah, he wants the coin, but it's like, Derek,
if you're not in the house, can't play that
you're
coin.
You're in danger, Derek. Come on.
Yep.
But he doesn't realize it.
Yeah. So it made sense who played and who didn't. I just can't believe it was just Alyssa. So here we are.
But really next week, I think in terms of who can play, well, I guess we can.
Let's wait till we get to spoilers.
Later. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
okay,
because we have to, there's some spoilers to it.
But Alyssa's the only one.
Alyssa wins. And now this is fun. This actual roulette spin.
Oh my God. That poor girl. She was like, woo, I got another thing from my resume. And she's all happy to like take down Derek F. The plan's going great. Oh, let's like spin. Woo, I'm gambling. Let's do the roulette, right? And then it lands on basically her only ally in the house. She buries her head in her hands, walks off camera, can't bear to look at it's like worst case scenario for her, but
It is.
Perfect scenario for us, right?
I mean, it's hilarious. It's BB karma. I mean, it was either going to be X or Kyland, right? Like, those are the ones that you're like, ha.
Right.
Kyland went up on Sarah Beth's HOH, or X went up when Alyssa spun it. Like, that's just fun. Thank you, BB gods, for that. But, like, X isn't going to, he's not that worried. He's fine.
He's fine. He's in the cookout.
Only Alyssa is worried.
Yeah, right.
Now, there is, like, I wish they had shown us in the edit, because this happens when feeds are down. But, you know, Sarah Beth promised Claire, they're aligned. We're in the jackpots together. I'm going to put you up and hope that Tiffany plays and pulls you down, and both of my jackpot girls are safe.
Yeah.
And then Sarah Beth tells Alyssa to pull down Big D. That doesn't add up.
That's weird. I missed something there.
Yeah. How did that happen?
Yeah.
But okay.
That would have been honestly more fun. Not that I necessarily, I'm enjoying the cookout. I'm not necessarily, I'm wanting them to get broken up, I guess, just for the entertainment value and for the drama of that. But like, that would have been more fun if Claire had gotten pulled down, and then we have Xavier and Derek F next to each other. That's some tension, Now the cookout is scrambling, if that's the case.
I mean, that's what I was hoping for. Derek X actually play the roulette, win, take Claire down. Then we get another cookout member up there. They're freaking out. One of them has to win Veto, and, the same person probably would have, and they would have been fine maybe. But, that would have been a lot more fun. But here we are. Instead, this is what happened. So let's get
this
to
is
spoilers.
the end of the episode, right? Yeah, where Claire and Xavier are our final, well, not final, but going into Veto the nominations. So yes, let's do the spoilers. Okay. Okay. I have to do this remotely. Okay.
We can do this.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Spoilers.
Oh gosh, you guys.
That
brilliant.
Felt like
perfect. 10-10.
Felt like a 10.
I mean, like a 10, guys.
I'll accept some scores from the chat, but I'm really feeling good about that one.
Yeah, so. I don't want to hear it if it's not. If it's not a 10-10, don't even worry about it. Amy, I love it. Laying on your spoilers pillow, with your Nerdtainment water bottle. Yes.
We love that merch.
Love it. Oh my God, we are getting very good scores. Yes,
wow.
100%. I want it. Yes. I want it all. Thank you.
We love the support.
Thank you.
Okay, so.
All right, hit me with those Veto spoilers, David.
Guess who won? It was Xavier. Unfortunately, I didn't write down who got picked, but I think it was Derek F.
Alyssa and Azza.
Right. So unfortunately,
it was a bad pick for Derek X.
Oh boy.
It was not
good. Oh boy. Yeah.
Or Claire. It wasn't good for either of them.
Yeah. But this backdoor plan has been in the works for Derek X, and he does not even get a chance to play for Veto. But he doesn't at this point realize that it's not good for him.
He's starting to get an idea. Starting to get an idea. He would have liked to have been chosen. He would have liked the opportunity to play. It's going to slowly start sinking in as this day goes on, especially since, did you say who won?
Xavier won. Yeah.
Xavier wins. So he's coming down. So when a nominee wins, you're like, who is going to go?
Who is it going to be? Yeah. And it's Derek X.
It's going to be Derek X. So that did happen today. Xavier pulled himself down. Sarah Beth did put Derek X on the block. Derek X knew that he was going up enough. Yeah. He was getting the hints. That this morning he did a last pitch to Sarah Beth, but she does not care.
Yeah, and he was like,
has put in the work.
The work, yes, the massages. But he suspected it. Like, he started asking around, like, do you think it might be me? Should I be nervous? I'm getting worried. Like, it just, he's a smart guy. He's like figured things out, right? Like he's been such a fun player to watch because he actually has good reads on the house. And so he's able to kind of like pick up on the body language, on the logic of this, right? Like he understands that he's a big threat. It would make sense to backdoor him. He's just like figuring it out. And so then we kind of saw him on the feeds doing some check-ins. He actually went up to the HOH room and straight up asked Sarah Beth at one point if he was being backdoored. And, you know, she kind of was like, oh, what? I don't know. And, you know, Kyland was like, no, haha, you're not being backdoored. And, you know, they were trying to save face there a little bit. But then you're right. Eventually, Sarah Beth all but tells him that she's going to backdoor him. He does the thing where he's like, remember when I let you keep $5,000 in that veto competition? Like, really? You're going to backdoor me? And she's like, well, that is making it a more difficult decision.
Did do that. He did do that. This morning, he did his little last pitch to her was a 3-week safety deal. He said, if I win the coin thing next week, I will basically share the HOH with you, like get your input, like whoever you want safe, I will not nominate, you know, you will be safe. You know, he did what he could do.
Yeah.
You know, let's be real. Is it great to keep him for Sarah Beth's game? Not really. I mean, she doesn't have to take him out now, but he doesn't really do much for her game. I mean, ironically, there are other people gunning harder for her than he is. She's not top of his target list, but he is a big competitive player.
For sure. I mean, in terms of, because like, I want to say like, it's smart to keep him insofar as he is not a member of the cookout, right? And so non-members of the cookout need to stay together, but A, they don't realize that they need to stay together. And B, like, you know, no one from the cookout is going home because they have the numbers. So that's not really going to be an option. And of the non-cookout members, yes, Derek X is the biggest threat to her, you know, ahead of Claire and Alyssa. So I guess it's like the best option for her. But
I mean, if you're playing any other season, you take out the Christians and the Derek X's of the season. Yeah, absolutely. But Amy, again, good point. She and Kai are going up next week.
And
the majority
she will go
of
home.
the house, exactly. The majority of the house is going to put the two of them up together. And Kai is A-okay with that because he is safe and it looks like he had nothing to do with her eviction. So when DX is offering to keep you safe with the coin, it actually is a good deal for you. You actually probably should have taken it, but what? So that saves you one more week. I mean, both of them are doomed. So
exactly, yes. Sorry to any Sarah Beth, Claire, and Alyssa stands out there. They are all doomed.
They're all doomed. I mean, I'm one of them. I love Derek X and Claire, but
like it may not happen like bing bang boom like week after week. Maybe we're gonna get like a weekend here where, you know, a member of the cookout is going to go home and they're not going to actually make it to final 6. Maybe. But eventually, the cookout will be the only people left in this game.
Yeah. So. Oh, no, we're so close to that. Like, we are, the odds of it not being a cookout 6 is real, real, real low. So back to this veto, though, there were some punishments that came along with this comp. And so although Xavier won veto, he has to now, well, first off, he lost all his BB bucks. So he no longer can play the coin coming up.
Yep.
He has to do 24 hours of solitary confinement starting on Wednesday, finishing at the time he votes on Thursday.
Love that.
Wow. I love that too.
Yeah.
And
he's a third nominee. So it'll be next week, next to likely Kyland and Sarah Beth, unless he wins HOH, in which case it gets delayed a week. But yeah, that's a lot of punishments for him to have safety this week. And he really was kind of always guaranteed safety this week. Like the cookout was not going to vote him out.
Yeah, it is very questionable, like why you would take something like being a third nominee. I know that you feel like you have the numbers, but being a third nominee, when we are like less and less people every week,
Yeah.
less and less non-cookout people left in the house, like that does become dangerous. He's talked to Kyland about wanting to win this HOH, and I'm like, you're gonna push being a nominee another week? Like,
get it over with.
So dangerous. Like less people in the house, less I mean, it's like it would only take you like 2 votes to get evicted at that point. I'm like, oh God.
You're courting danger. Yeah. Like you should really get this out of the way when you are comfortably safe and definitely still have the votes, you know?
Right. Let Dolores, this is a good question. David, while you are gone, CBS announced that on the 16th, there's a 2-hour episode.
It's a triple eviction, right? Is what
Well, that is the speculation.
That's the
that
rumor. Okay.
The internet is assuming for a 2-hour eviction, we might get a triple. And I agree, we might get a triple, but because we've seen this season copy quite a bit from BB Can 9.
Mm-hmm.
They did that fake double thing, that fake like battle back thing.
God,
could be that.
I would love that. Yeah. Do you think there will be some kind of jury battle back?
No, I don't. I think it'll be either this triple coming up or what did they call that? A fake double where they like
I think that's what
did a double, but then they battled and one of them came back in. So it wasn't really a thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I love all of it. People get so mad about this stuff. And I say, let's go. Let's mess it all up. Let's get crazy.
Right. Especially when there's like an alliance like the Cookout that's in power, that's just steamrolling everybody. Like it's these kinds of things that really mix it up and like throw wrenches in their plans. I mean, when you're as dominant as the Cookout, it's really hard to throw a wrench in their plans. Like they can kind of figure their way out of most things probably. Yeah. But I mean, I'm all for mixing it up.
Production tried to throw a wrench in it by giving Derek X the roulette this week.
He didn't get that memo though.
He didn't get it.
What he said was, wow, I have 200 BB bucks. I can definitely play for the coin next week because no matter how much money he would have gotten next week, he would have been eligible to play for the coin. That's a difficult thing to, kind of give up on. It's a huge power. But let's talk about who left because Derek X is probably going to be gone. 99% he is out of the house this week.
Mm-hmm.
So he 75%. Can't play. Okay, love that. Xavier lost his BB bucks. He's no longer eligible. So it's really just Derek F. Mm-hmm. And not even, and Hannah, right? What if Hannah got 100? I think she'd be eligible.
If Hannah can get 100, you guys. So yes, think about this when you do your votes this week.
Mm-hmm.
Big D is guaranteed to have the big coin this week. Big D, Bitcoin, whatever it's called. He's guaranteed. If Hannah gets 100 this week coming up, then she could play against him and one of them. Now, they have the same targets. It doesn't matter which one wins the coin. They will both put up Sarah Beth and Kyland.
Okay.
But it'll get to be anonymous. If Big D does do it, he's going to say, "Oh, it's not me. Hannah must have got enough money." Or Tiffany. They think Tiffany would have enough money. So Tiffany has enough money, like it's probably her. There'll be a bunch of mind games, but the nominees won't change.
Yeah. So
just think about that.
I want the mind games.
Thank you for the super chat.
Yes, thank you, Kay Diggs. Appreciate it.
The odds that Cookout get all to the final 6, it's going to be tough to argue they aren't the best alliance in a long, long time. I mean, their loyalty is just off the charts.
I mean, look, I know we all hated, I don't even remember what it was called. What was Cody and Memphis's alliance called?
The Committee.
Sure, whatever. I know we all hated them, but they kind of did the same thing as the Cookout. In terms of like dominance, they were equally dominant. So I guess if you're saying best alliance, meaning like my favorite alliance in years, yes. But if you're saying
alliance and the favorite, yes, for sure.
Absolutely. But if we're talking best in terms of like statistical dominance, I would say they're kind of on equal footing.
Okay, well, forgive me for blacking out the committee last year. I don't remember their stats. How many were there, and what did they make it to? Were they final 8, final 6?
Were they all? There was like an 8 and then a 6 or something like that, and I think they made it to 8 and 6. But again, I'm blacking out the details of that as well. But let's not forget they were a super annoyingly dominant alliance.
Well, we were trying to forget, David. Why? Yeah. Did you bring it up? We were doing just fine forgetting.
Sorry.
Okay. Rick, thank you for your super chat. Great to see us together again. Thank you so much.
Glad to be together.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about these votes, though, real quick before we jump.
Yes, because you said 75%. Derek X has gone, not 99%, because I don't think there's much hope for him.
Okay, there's not much hope. There is not much hope. But let's break it down, because Tiffany, Hannah, and Azza would like to keep Derek.
Yeah, they would.
They would like him to vote out Claire this week. Kai, X, and Big D would pretty much like the opposite. They would like DX to go big times. And Alyssa will do whatever Xavier tells her to do. And she's pretty mad at him for getting Christian out anyway. So she's on board with that. So X has to enter 24 hours of solitary confinement on Wednesday, does not get to come back and talk to anyone right before the vote. So if he's out of the picture, and people like to be like, oh, whatever the HOH wants. Okay, well, no one likes Sarah Beth. So this would be the week. If we were going to have a week where they were like, we don't care what the HOH says. This would be the week. They would just have to worry about Kyland, basically. Like, how can they flip this vote?
Don't you think? Because my head,
one more person is what I'm saying.
Well, my head went to the ladies try to sway Alyssa, because Xavier is not there to tell Alyssa what to do. So if Tiffany and Azza and Hannah wanted to go to her and say, hey, change of plans, like, you got to get Claire out, whatever, like, that seems like the strategy. So are you saying they need to convince Kyland to flip?
No, I'm saying that they need to not let Kyland get whiff of it. Kyland will shut it down. Kyland won't let it happen, right?
Right.
And X won't let it happen. But if X isn't there and they can sneak around Kyland, maybe they can sucker Big D into something. I don't know. Give him promises of something. I doubt it. These are not high odds.
Yeah. I think they talk about oh, wouldn't it be nice if Derek X stayed? But I don't think they're willing to try to make some big move to save him.
Right. Along the lines of they're not willing to turn on the cookout and sneak something, right? I think that they're definitely talking, like Tiffany has talked to Azza, wouldn't we love to keep Derek? Yes, we would love to keep Derek. Let's see if we can keep Derek. But how far will they push that? I don't know. This is what Derek brought to Tiffany today. Derek said, Kyland said to me, if it's going to be a unanimous vote, he will give me a sympathy vote. So, Hail Mary, if he thinks it's a unanimous vote and is willing to give me a sympathy vote, then all I need is those 3 votes, Tiffany, Hannah, Azza. But, like we just said, that would require Tiffany and Hannah and Azza to lie to the cookout. I mean,
that's blowing up the cookout.
And that's blowing up the cookout,
Yeah. So that's tough. But good for Derek X. That's a decent pitch, If you really does he know that Tiffany, Hannah, and Azza are his only hope?
Yeah.
Okay.
He knows that those are votes willing to vote for him. Yeah.
Okay. And walk me through, because I am not as caught up on the feeds as you are. From what we've been seeing in the show, Tiffany keeps talking about Claire is my best friend in this house. I'm not ready to lose Claire, da, 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 da. Why now is she saying, I want to keep Derek X over Claire?
Well, to be fair, Tiffany, just like Hannah did all last week, was Claire and Derek are figuring it out. Because they were like, what's going on?
Yeah. Mhm.
And they were like, oh crap, they're figuring it out. They've got to go. We're bumping them up the list. Derek X and Claire have to be the next two to go. But I think that Tiffany, like we see, she goes one way and then she remembers something and goes another way. She'll go one way and then she's like, but wait a minute. Derek X is protecting me. I need to keep what happens when we get to final 7, final 8, and Kyland and Xavier are winning left and right, and then they're taking me and Hannah out. What happens when I get to that point? If she could actually keep Derek X until 7, as long as possible, then he can protect her. So she like goes back and forth, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's got to go. And then, oh, I need him for my game.
This is like more of the kind of thinking I wish we were seeing in terms of like what the individual end games are for the cookout. Because like the reality is when we get to the 6, it's men versus women right now. Yeah. The guys are talking about how are we going to deal with the girls, and the girls are talking about how are we going to deal with the guys. And you're right that like Kyland and Xavier are the comp beasts here. If we get into like mind game or, you know, my mental comps, Hannah, of course, is going to like do great. I think Tiffany potentially might do okay. I'm not sure about Azah. She doesn't seem to be studying the days as much. So, you know, we could see Hannah win something on a mental comp, but like Kyland and Xavier are beasts. And it really feels like if you're a woman in the cookout, you need to be thinking about how can I get these guys out and who could potentially help me get these guys out who is maybe not a member of the cookout, you know?
Yeah, it was such a poor move on Tiffany and Hannah to push this last week because the guys ran with it. They were like, yes, you're right. And so then when they started to backtrack and talk about, no, we need to keep them, the guys were like, no, what are you talking about? X and Kyland were like, no, we have to move forward. And look, this is where we are. It's unfortunate that it has like turned into these like men versus women lines here, but Tiffany and Hannah needed to weaponize Derek X for as long as they possibly can.
Yeah.
I mean, why can't they bring him into the cookout? He's a minority. He's a person of color. Like, is that just me being a stupid white girl? I don't know, but it would be nice to at least use him for their game. Let him take out some people for them would be great.
Because if you keep him to like 7, use him to get rid of a Kyland or an Xavier, you still have numbers to get him out whenever you want to get him out. You know, like the cookout is just going to be an overwhelming majority to the point where you can use him to take a shot and then get him out the next week, you know? So I'm just a little disappointed that we aren't seeing more of that kind of strategy.
I'm super disappointed about that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Tamiki.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Chat. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, Xavier has mentioned that he wants Kyland out first. I don't know if that's still true because the 3 guys do have a final 3 together, and but no one's going for Xavier. Xavier's sitting pretty. So
I know it's kind of weird.
Look, we've seen people not win comps until, you know, final 7, final 8. So I have to cross my fingers for Tiffany and Hannah and Azah.
I think Hannah could definitely be one of those people who starts to win in the end game.
It doesn't look good, but yes, let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah. Here's what I'm not here for, Sarah.
Uh-oh.
I'm not here. This is like one of those clips that's kind of blowing up BB Twitter right now. Derek F. talking about to the guys about, oh, you know, I know we're the cookout and we're the 6, but it's time for the girls to start pulling their weight. Derek F.
Big D
is saying
Big D, you guys. Yep.
As if he has pulled any weight for the cookout.
Yep. No, David, he is the mastermind, self-proclaimed mastermind of this whole plan. First off, this whole plan was his idea, and he has been manipulating people. He has been planting seeds, and it is not fair that these girls are being dragged to final 6. Okay, he's okay with he gets the cause, but he's not. People should not get a free ride to final 6. He says.
I can't wait for them to cut him. I cannot wait. That is a joke. Like, I mean,
a joke.
You can convince yourself of a lot of things in the Big Brother house, but at least we all know that Tiffany is the mastermind.
He is literally the one they are dragging, and they can drag him all the way to final 2.
And they probably will.
He will get no votes. Like, that is who you are.
Yeah.
Is that person. It is mind-blowing that he feels that way. But
and like, sorry, but masterminds don't get used as pawns on the block. So I think you need to rethink what's going on here.
I understand dragging him to the end. Like, he's not going to win anything.
I would too. Yes, I would do that.
I really want him out just for things like that. Just for saying that. Then you should go at 6. But you're not a threat, so you're not going to go at 6.
You're not going to go unless Tiffany gets so fed up with him that she decides he's got to go.
Hi. Yeah. I think Big D was asleep when Tiffany was trying to make him and Azza understand the bond stretch. Yeah. No, he's the mastermind, but yeah, he was asleep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I can't. I don't know. There's so many people I want to go at 6, so I'm torn.
Yeah.
But watch it.
I just really don't want it to be Tiffany or Hannah. I'm just liking them so much.
I know. And I really love Azza, even though I 100% recognize she's not good at this game.
No.
But I just adore her.
She's great, but no. She's not good at this game. Oh, no. She might be another, though, that like gets pulled to the final 2.
I would like to see it. I would like it. Just for fun. Yeah. Well, that's it, you guys. Yeah, the vote, it maybe something could happen, but it would be something huge. I don't expect it to happen. Yeah. So I do expect Derek to leave this week. And
it's sad for my draft.
I expect Sarah Beth next week. And then I expect Claire the next week. And then I expect Alyssa. So
yeah. And who knows, if we get a triple eviction, maybe it'll be Sarah Beth, Claire, and Alyssa all in 1 week.
Yeah, probably. David, you're actually winning in the draft.
I saw that. Mm-hmm. It's because, I mean, listen, I know that Alyssa was thrown the veto and then she was the only person to compete in the roulette challenge. And that's why she got those 4 points, but I will take them. Thank you very much. Xavier winning a veto. I will take it. Like, yes, thank you for all these points.
Yeah, for now, you've got some good points.
But Derek X, he's one of my big point getters, and he's
you're going to
be out. Now I got to watch out for you with Kyland on your team, because Kyland is going to win a lot of comps, and I don't like it.
You guys, I have Kyland on my team. Can I get points for massages?
Yeah. Oh my God, you would be the landslide winner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, points. Okay. Well, it is what we didn't know when we were drafting them. What were we going to do? We didn't know.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, it's so great to have David back. Yay!
I'm glad to be back. I missed you guys. I missed you, Sarah. Thank you for welcoming me back and for being kind to all of the fabulous guest hosts that came on while I was gone as well.
We did. We had some fun guest hosts. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I'm here solo for live feed updates. Then Wednesday, I don't know who my guest is Wednesday, TBD.
Surprise.
Yes, recap after the episode. And then Thursday, David will be back, hopefully live and in person by then.
Heck yeah.
For the Thursday episode recap. And I hope we have a new HOH and exciting news.
Yes.
To talk about besides sad news of losing Derek, probably.
I know.
Thursday. Yeah. So you guys who joined us live in the chat, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We do. And if you're joining us later, be sure to leave us a comment and let us know how you're feeling about, all these spoilers in this backdoor plan. And I guess, what do you think future strategies should be? Who are you hoping for the next HOH? Mm-hmm. Do you see any hope for like drama with the big coin, competition next week? Who are you going to vote for to get BB bucks, and why is it Hannah? Because we do want to see Hannah to be eligible for this comp.
I mean, she should just beat Big D in the comp, right? We should just give our votes to Hannah. Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. All right, you guys. We'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye.